Hey folks, and welcome to a episode of Road to Masters. Today is going to be the last episode. I just wanted to do a short episode and a short series of the journey. I don't want to clog up your sub box and do a super long series that maybe some people aren't interested in. But I wanted to show this game. Shout out to Need Dan as well. Need Dan's been playing the game for a long time. He's got a great YouTube channel and plays very well in this game. Love a bit of Need Dan. And you can see I've made it to Diamond. So episode 1, we chatted about just picking up the controller, which you can see here. Just picking up the controller, getting used to the basics, trying to not be a complete noob. Episode 2 was really just playing the fundamentals, just working on the core concepts, trying to not roll, trying to land shots, trying to get used to movement, and trying to just get used to the controls and be a useful team member. That's the plan. That carried us up to about Onyx. At Onyx, I was getting a little bit sick of rolling. A little bit sick. I'm going to try to not cough throughout this whole episode. Try to not roll. Try to have a little bit more outplay potential with the controller movement, because that's, I feel like, where its strength is. Listen, I'm not going to be the best aimer on console after playing 5 days. It's not humanly possible. But we can improve and have good movement. And I was rolling a lot. So as you can see here, I'm pressing the left bumper to run and also bounce. This is the shooter control scheme. That's what we discussed in the last video. Effectively, instead of miss-rolling, I will miss-run. And I've also rebound a few other buttons so I can spot with the right click. It's a hell of a wonky control scheme. It kind of feels like you're holding a steering wheel, but if you get used to it, it feels actually pretty good. You can see there, that's an example of me like taking my time with a shot. I know I missed, but I was going to shoot with a flick, and then I was like, no, I'll wait for him to do an animation, and he slid to the wall. Now this, actually remember this, because when the game started off, I missed like 10 bullets with the sniper, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to put that down. As I stepped up into Diamond and Masters and actually played against some good players, like sometimes you play Diamonds and Masters and they're just not really Diamonds and Masters, are they? But there are a few actual players in this game. So I was like, all right, let's not mess about too much with the sniper. Let's try and win this game. And it ends up being a very long but good, fun back and forth game. And that's why I've decided to show it. This Road to Masters is not, hey, look how perfect I've played. That's not the point. The point of the Road to Masters is, can you transfer your knowledge across from input device to input device and still perform relatively okay? I'm not going to be a perfect player after 5 days. It's not possible. But you will definitely have seen an improvement if you've watched the series from me having day 1 on the controller and then playing now. I feel pretty comfortable with movement. I feel pretty comfortable on the sticks. You can see there a little roadie run strafes whilst capping the hill. No miss rolls at all. You can see there, and I'm getting used to. In this, obviously, when you roadie run, there is a small delay. So obviously there's a roadie run. There's a delay, you can't shoot, and that means when I'm running, I have to sort of remember I'm running, because if I press the bumper and I'm not in range of cover, I will run, and then I need to remember, okay, I'm running, and I need to pull up so I can shoot because there's a delay. So this game is no specialty. It's no like, oh, look how good I am. This is just showing like, hey, like, like moments like that. Nice little flash, nice little piece of movement, good back A. If you make enough solid moves, you'll rank up. Not that it's too difficult to rank up in this game, obviously, but we made it. Yes, spoiler alert, we make it to Masters. And I actually really enjoyed the series. I enjoyed it because it made me play in a completely different way. Most of my gameplay was shotgun heavy and movement, which is something I've not really done since like the Gears probably 1 or 3 days. And that's purely because the control scheme allowed me to do things I personally couldn't do with a PC. So people will say, listen, PC's OP, this and that. There are elements that are absolutely strong as anything. Like I can flick, I can lancer. It's not to say I can't lancer. I'm doing a little bit better now with the lancer, as you can see. But there are definitely strengths and advantages to each one. Whereas I really struggle even with scroll wheel bounce, even with like spacebar bounce and no roll. I do struggle with the movement, but you can see here, I'm actually tracking pretty well with the Lancer, and the finals, I guess, piece to the puzzle that allowed me, I think, to get into Masters relatively quickly, you know, as a sort of player that has the locked, you know, I've got the locked FOV, so people can't moan about that as well. I'm playing on the 80 FOV. One of the reasons why I was able to perform consistently well, I feel, was I was able to Lancer. People can say, oh, you know, you hate the Lancer, but in certain games against certain stacks and against certain people, you do actually need to Lancer if you want to win and rank up. And at the beginning, all the way up to Onyx, I just couldn't Lancer. I just couldn't track people at all. I'll tell you the big difference. The big difference was just taking a fraction of a bit longer to get onto the guy, and then people won't like to hear it, but letting Adhesion take its course and letting aim assist take its course. Look, I'm not here to bash console, you know, I've played both input devices, but once you're locked onto a character with a Lancer, it was actually pretty nice to stay on them. It is difficult to get on them. It is difficult to sometimes snap to them, especially if you're doing quick movements, but I did find tracking to be okay. One of the things that really helped me track, and this isn't a sellout, I'm just telling you, is these thumbsticks. So you can see these thumbsticks and these grips. And it might seem like a complete sellout. I have a review on my channel with an affiliate link. There's my sellout. If you actually think they're any good and want to practice with them and play with them, go ahead and use my affiliate link. I get a small kickback. It's a great way to support the channel. I did an honest review of them, and I could track with the thumbs okay. Once I'd added that extra, this extra little bit of height to the thumbstick, it allows me to put less tension on the stick, and it allows me to sort of lower or raise my sensitivity depending, and track a lot better. And the grip, I found, with the extra height really helped on the thumbstick. And the grips, personally, for me, these don't do too much for gameplay at all. They're just grips. But I found this brand new controller to be really hard, and it softened it up, and I did feel like I held it a lot more nicely. I'm sorry there's no gameplay in the background, but this, sorry, no audio in the background, but this is a stream VOD. So if I was to unmute it, you'd just hear me talking nonsense. As you can see, if I just turn off my camera, you can see me there in all of my red locust and blue cog lighting. You've got to give a like for that, right? Come on. Let me know in the comments if you like my lighting. But that was the big difference. So I'd got the fundamentals down because I'd played a lot of Gears. My movement was beginning to improve because of the control scheme. And the last sort of step was being able to support if I needed to. So I changed the control scheme because it was right bumper to spot, and I found it very difficult to press right bumper to spot whilst also pressing left bumper, left trigger, and using two thumbsticks. It just wasn't working for me. So I swapped it around, so the click was the spot button. So I was able to spot, which definitely impacted the game. Like, being able to spot people helps so much. Like, even if you don't have comms, which I never do, I never play with comms, just being able to spot people, sometimes people turn around and survive because of it. You can see there a nice little wall cancel into a back A, and I thought I was playing a, you know, it's not the greatest game of all time, but this is one of the final games I played before I got into Masters, and it was a nice back and forth long game with knee down in it as well, so I thought I'd show that off. So the big steps were fundamentals, like just getting used to, not going to say input delay, but just the way it functions. Like, I'm roadie running a lot, so I have to remember to cancel and when to shoot. Getting used to just sheerly the actual buttons. Playing with a different control scheme, guys, like, after so much time is very odd. Like, trust me, it was really, really odd. Now, obviously, like there, I'm still missing flick shots and I'm still missing shots. That's nothing to do with like, oh, you can't do it on a controller. Of course you can land shots on a controller. I just haven't put a lot of time into it. You know, it's only 5 days. Like, if you were to pick up a keyboard and mouse and only play 5 days, you'll be making mistakes too, right? You can see there, nice little wall bounce, little cancel. Yeah, I end up dying, but you can see like where it's coming together. Like, wall bounce, check the corners, move out, cancel, and you can see here that, you know, I'm able to now dish out a decent amount of damage with the Lancer. Look, I'm not going to land every single bullet, but nice little turn there, and that's where I think the connections suck. Like right there, I don't think that guy aimed for me. He probably shot where I was, caught me mid slide. If the netcode was a little bit better, or the visual distinction was a bit better, you know, I probably wouldn't be as molding or bad about that death. But there's a lot of deaths like that in this game. But you can see here, you know, pushing there, cancelling out my roadie run, poking. That was a good example of like how I've improved. You know, pushing someone, and maybe I don't get the kill here, but my movement here to stay alive and utilizing the camera and everything definitely improved like a large amount. And I can also transition to a bit of Lancer fire if I need to. So, you know, I don't want to sort of go over the top and say I'm some fantastic player, but definitely there's been like a marked improvement for sure. Got flashbang there, need Dan coming in to step up. But overall, this was where I'd had fun with the game. I enjoyed playing against bronze players and sort of battling it out with them whilst I couldn't aim. Then I sort of got used to it, used the fundamentals, just sort of breezed through the ranks. And I think I could have just carried on booming my way around, waddling my way around and got to Masters just through putting a good amount of time into it. However, I actually wanted to improve my play, not just reach a rank. So I felt like the natural step to improve the rank and improve me play was to sort my control scheme out. Like, I can't tell you guys how good it is to not roll. Like, it's weird. It's really weird to roadie run. And maybe I'll find a different control scheme I like a bit better. But, you know, like here, keeping myself in a corner, hip firing. These are all like, you know, juking there to the left, checking there for a back A in case anyone's pushing up. These are all like, they're like fundamental, like core aspects of gears, but I'm able to pull them off with a controller. Again, I would say like my sweeping with the controller is not the best. Also, yeah, you know, sometimes I'm not the best at landing shots. That was okay there. Whiffed that one. But we've definitely improved, and the most fun has been ranking up and then reaching Masters. Now, I will admit, prepare for me to go off tangent a little bit. When I made it into Masters, I really stopped enjoying the game. And it's not to say that Masters players are some fantastic group of players that I just can't physically beat. I was able to win multiple Masters games and hold my own when on a controller. So I didn't just get to Masters, I managed to stay in it. You know, it weren't like I was losing a ton of games or anything like that. Where the enjoyment really dropped off was, it's almost like when you reach Masters, the players are they're not better, they're just ever so slightly better, and they're a little bit better at slightly predicting your movement. So when they get a little bit better at slightly predicting your movement, what that means, and that was a nice little hold your shot there. I thought that was good. Really nice little bit of play there. When they get a little bit better at reading, when you do the movement and you do just about juke them and go to the left, because they're kind of on you and kind of have read where it's going, the netcode or whatever you want to call it, it clips you and you die. And then it feels like, oh, well, I can't really do any fun movement. And that's not to say like, oh, I'm a, whatever you want to say, like a zoomer, you know, I'm not like, oh, I want to zoom around, yada, yada, yada. But it is nice to actually mix and match, like, hey, I think like the best of, like, the styles to gears, right? Some people just wall bounced every single time. Some people just strafe. Some people, you know, whatever. Some people Lancer a lot. Some people just want to go for power weapons. I like to mix it all up and try to do a really like nice style. That means like if I think I need to bounce, I'll bounce. If I need to strafe, I'll strafe. If I need to flash and grab a weapon, I will do. I tried to have like a balanced approach to the game. And I was finding at Masters, you just can't do, you can like, I don't want to say you can't do movement because you can, but a lot of it's cut out just because they're slightly better and the netcode's slightly more punishing. But it got me frustrated because not only is there that, there's stacks. And man oh man, when you get into Diamond and when you get into Masters, like every game I played was stacks. It was so boring. Like when you play people, when you play with like stacks, you don't feel like, oh, I'm losing this game. That's not what it feels like. It's not like, oh, damn, I keep missing that shot, or oh, damn, he keeps shotgunning me. It just feels like I can't do anything. That's what it feels like. You're like, bro, like, come on, like, you're trying to push him, and like you're just about getting into gib range to blow him up with some movement. You can see there my tracking's pretty nice there. That was good. Like, that was good tracking with the Lancer, right? To say I'm on a controller and I'm new, I would say like that's definitely an improvement. But yeah, like, you just get put against stack after stack after stack, and they're not really beating you mechanically or even strategically. Like, it's not even that strategic. It's just they have the numbers in the right place. Now, you could argue that's strategy, but an example, I think I just tweeted it actually, was a picture of some pros. There was a couple pros in a 4-man stack, and we took, I think it was like 150, 160 points off them in 2 rounds in a 4v3. And every time I tried to engage them, I think there's a clip of them in my montage, like, I was that tilted, I put them in the montage for the double I got on them. You'll know which one it is when you watch the montage tomorrow, hopefully. Please tune into it. They're the people I killed that said mollywopped, and every time I fought them, every single time I fought them, there would be a guy in like a deep pocket position just lancering me or pistoling me from the side. I tried to take a 1v1 shotgun, and as I'd dive into cover and try to regen, I'd be waiting like 3 seconds for the regen to kick in, and somebody would be like, yeah, I'm just going to go wide on him. And that's okay if that happens naturally, like from a spot, or it happens occasionally, but every single fight, it gets super obnoxious when you're against a team doing that. Like, I'm not saying it's not the right thing to do, but man, like, they sweat out the system, like the Masters system, when really Masters isn't that hard to achieve, but they constantly stack, which I'm not really sure about. Like, the Masters system is so poor that you can get to Masters relatively easily if you're half okay at the game. So why do you need to stack in four mans, you know? If you're really wanting to practice for, like, I don't know, a tournament or something, you probably should be playing scrims anyway. But yeah, when I played the Masters games, and I played like 10 or so, you know, that was a big shot there and a nice little hit. When I played them, man, it was just every single game, just stack after stack after stack. And it was really frustrating. So that's kind of why I ended up stopping this series. I was going to keep going and be like, oh, I'm going to keep improving, I'm going to keep learning, because it was quite fun. But ultimately, the game got very, very frustrating for me. Really, really frustrating. It was just, yeah, really, really annoying. Can't tell you. I know I'm on full tilt here, but I cannot tell you how annoying it was to just be relentlessly just 4-man. Like, it wasn't even like when you were dying, you felt like, oh, that was a good play. You just outnumbered. So up until that point, like, the road to Masters was super fun. Occasionally I did a duo game, like now when I wanted to play with Stotty. I think I played one other game with Joe, but you can see here, right, like, that Lancer's not perfect. I got flanked and killed, but the actual tracking was pretty decent. Again, look at Nidan, man. Nidan just posts lore videos and gameplays, and he's always rocking some, like, random ass beefy character with a skin set, and I'm like, yo, this bro's definitely recorded in 4K for his channel, man. Shout out to Nidan. But we tried to snipe. I was almost hitting a shot there. Look, I'm not the perfect player by any stretch. This game actually wasn't. That was a pretty good shot though, weren't it? Pretty nice shot. Like, I'm not the perfect player, as you can see, missing those type of shots. But it's all gonna come with practice, right? So if I can get this okay after 5 days on the sticks, you know, I would like to think that if I was to play for like 2 months, just working on the controller, I think I'd be decent player for sure. Decent player. You can see how close this game is, by the way. That's why I kept this game out. It's like, what is it, 1-1, and we're now like even on points. This was where like all the flashy kills and everything went out of the window. I was just like trying to win, because obviously I was trying to reach Masters and rank up, so we were just like trying to, like, that was pretty nice, right? Like, that kind of section of gameplay there, like, that one wasn't the best because I got sort of caught on that rail which you can't roadie run down, which kind of messes up with the AI of the shooter control scheme. But yeah, the movement, the juking feels pretty good. So yeah, this was just a short, what was it, like 4 episodes of a Road to Masters. I didn't want to bore you to tears. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. This is kind of what I used to do on my channel. I used to just post gameplay and then like talk about it. So I mean, if that's something you enjoy, what I'm considering doing is playing like certain campaigns and certain games and then maybe just putting all of the footage together, cutting it up, and then having a chat about it. So if you like this type of video, do let me know. That was a frustrating death. That was a frustrating death because if I'd have held on to kill him off the up A, we could have traded or I could have died. So I decided to wait, but then I got absolutely gibbed. But that was the Road to Masters, man. It was pretty fun journey. Again, like you can just see, man, like it might not seem like much movement, but bro, compared to what I was playing like at the beginning, so fluid. This kind of stuff, look, the sweeps and the accuracy with the snipe is just not the best from me. Like I'm hitting body shots and downing them, and that's what I've decided to do. Like I know I'm not going to be able to headshot everybody. I haven't played on the sticks in ages. I'm getting a bit of practice in. Like I'm improving. Like there's been definitely an improvement. It's not perfect, but there's been an improvement. So I think that's how I end up playing Gears. It's like if I know I can't do something, I kind of like make it steady. So like if I know I can't headshot him, I at least want to hit the body shot. And I've hit a couple nice no scopes this game. That's one thing I will say for the controller. The no scopes on it, I don't know if it's like the magnetism something, but bro, you can hit some ridiculous shots with it. Actually, I'm kind of like watching this gameplay back, trying to think what exactly happened. It was so close. I think what ended up happening was right now they started to trickle in. They were getting a little bit desperate because the point gap was separating. And I think, yeah, just kind of like hold your ground there, don't let him in. This was a good game, and you can often have like really good games on Gears, and it's just unfortunate that like maybe it's the matchmaking, maybe it's the netcode, maybe it's the balance, but sometimes you play Gears and man, it feels so fun, and then other times it's like a horrendous experience. So the Road to Masters was super fun. Can't tell you enough. I really did enjoy it. Like actually properly enjoyed it. Would look forward to signing in because it's not often like when you've played Gears for a long time, it's not often you have something new to learn. So whether it be like, it would be kind of like if they put a new shotgun in the game or they changed the loadout weapons, right? There'd be like a learning curve. So even though I've played a lot of Gears, it still felt really fresh signing in each day because I'd set myself a challenge of reach masters, improve, and also those the new control schemes. So I had a blast, man. I hope you enjoyed the little mini series. I was just checking for some grenades there. Things are getting a bit hectic now, aren't they? I'm looking for that back A, landing that shot. Which way is he going to go, left or right? Try to push this guy on his own. You can see like the movement, the wall cancel, kind of like whiff me shot, but where I was sort of the last piece of the puzzle was this was like Diamond 1. I think it was Diamond 1. Once I'd got into Masters, I'd sort of figured out when I should be bouncing and when I shouldn't, and when I should be strafing and stuff. At the beginning, I just wanted to bounce and roadie run strafe everything. But that is, I think that's it really. I don't really have too much more to say. I'm not going to... don't think I'm going to unmute the game because I don't know what I'm saying. Can't even remember what I'm saying. We might actually be coming to the end of the gameplay. It's been that long I've been talking for, I don't even know. It's actually really close. Shit. I actually fucking... did we throw? Wait, did we not win this game? Maybe we threw. I can't remember what okay, let's watch the end of this game. So I'm trying to take Bobby here. I go wide on him because he's brick. That was nice. Check for a back A. Roadie run, swap, cancel. See Marcus there and caught him out. Trade. That was a big play. So I roadie run, cancelled to get vision. Swap cancelled. Then killed 3 people, which gifted us that capture. Yeah. Now we're capturing it, and we need like 30 points to hold. So I decided I'm going to go in the tower here and support them as they run in like this. Yeah, keep them all red as they go in. And this is where I've learnt the controller and the sticks, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to confidently sit here and actually put pressure on. Because, you know, that's awful, but it's not too bad, is it? But that's what it's about, man. You just got to put pressure on them. Spotting them there, keeping him red, lancering him. So that was the goal. Yeah, I can remember now. Just putting everybody red. And again, I'm on a controller here, new control scheme, and you're still able to dish out a lot of support damage. It's not like I'm completely useless. I think people were trying to point out like, oh, you'll never Lancer anybody, you know, with a controller, which don't make sense because that's what the pro circuit's played on. But, you know, is that bad Lancering? I think it's accurate enough, you know. You can definitely dish out a ton of damage. The two input devices are really close. Like, if you're a world-class PC player, yeah, probably going to be better than a world-class controller player. But man, the controller has definitely different bonuses, like the magnetism and the movement for sure. Here, we need a few more points. I'm just trying to keep them off it, and I was like, oh shit, you know, my team's dying. I need to get on that hill and break, because if they get set up, we won't be able to run in. So I went here for a break. I didn't get it. Did not get that break I wanted, and I was like, okay, right, hill's changing, which I should have paid attention to. I should have gone next rather than dying there. So I picked up the flashbang. You can tell I'm taking it seriously. When you pick up a second flashbang, that's when you're taking it seriously. Win that one on the stairs, which was big because both my teammates died. Managed to down him, which trades, but they snap it up, man. They snap it up to a 1-1. I'm gonna let the remainder of the game play out, should I? Or has this video gone on too long? I think maybe you're all bored of it. It's been 26 minutes. I'll tell you what we'll do. So I'll give you the juicy ending, okay? Here's how it went, boys. Let's skip on. This is the power of technology. So we moved on. It got to about 146 points. I'd produced a little bit. I stepped it up a little bit towards the end. Like, because when it went to 1-1, you know, like when you play Gears and it goes 1-1 and you're like, right, I don't want to lose now. So you see me like roadie run faking, guy comes up behind me, game's got no audio. But yeah, you definitely do a step up, don't you? When it's 1-1, I was like, I ain't losing this. I think I ended up getting 95 eliminations, which is one of the most I've got since playing on a controller. I think that's why I saved this VOD. But yeah, like, you know, putting them all full red, keeping them red. Now I'm getting pushed, so I don't want to get angled off. See there? Like, take cover, realised I was getting crossed, so took the fight. Me and Need Dan holding it down. Even tag a flashbang in there to help him out. Now I tried to push out to win this one, because I don't want it to get set up. I was thinking about swapping. Went for a swap. You see my camera? Completely failed on the swap. Held. That was nice. So what I did there was, I clipped with the back 8, and then I went for a back 8 on Marcus. I think she thought, right, he's going to go finish Marcus. I didn't. I held me shot, and then she peeked so I could back her. And we managed to clean up. And it says, you see here, here's Gears of War in a nutshell. What did it just tell me? It told me I got MVP. I was like, oh, nice, I got MVP. That was a really good back and forth game. And then Nidan got MVP. So the game still can't even work out basic things after all of this time. But I even dropped down to all the way down here, but you can see this was a good game. I got 96 elims with a controller. We were playing against Masters, Onyx. There was, I don't think sniped Silver, to be honest. But I thought that was an alright game. That was kind of it. That was the road to Masters. We managed to achieve Masters in the next few games. And tomorrow, there will be the montage of all of the highlights. So, we'll see you then. Click these 2 videos if you're interested in watching some more content by me.